Imrpovised, are you ready for your final guest poet? I said, are you ready for your final guest poet? I need you to stomp your feet, I need you to click your fingers, I need you to scream louder than you've ever screamed in your entire life. I need to scream like you're having a baby. For the incredible Tyrone Lewis!
Okay, so we're going to start off with a little capitalism first. So I was introduced as Tyrone Lewis, but my full poetry name is Published Poet Tyrone Lewis. And with that, I have, oh look at that, 2 published books on me. I am selling them because I am shameless and poetry does not pay enough money and I need more money to eat. So you can buy those books off me. They are £10 each, or if you buy them both together, I can do you a deal for £15. And I know what you're thinking. Oh no, Tyrone, I don't have any money on me. I don't have any cash on me. But that's fine. I've got a card reader. But first, we're gonna go fully black for the first poem. Most recent book is called Too Black, Too Furious. And I feel like it's worth doing the title poem from this one. 1, because I like it, and 2, because promo, so I need pictures of me holding the book. So this is me selling the book whilst doing the performing. So there we go. This one is called Too Black, Too Furious. This poem is so black, it was being racially profiled before I even wrote it. This poem was being overlooked for job despite having all the relevant qualifications and experience. And this poem is pretty for a black poem. This poem has curves and an arse, and this poem is so black it has cornrows and dreadlocks and an afro and extensions and a weave, and this poem exclusively eats jerk chicken and plantain and just drinks orange soda and rum and ginger beer. This poem is so black a police officer murdered it on video. This poem is so black it comes from the country of Africa. This poem is so black, it comes from the country of the Caribbean. This poem is so black, its middle name is the N-word, and this poem is so black that we can't pronounce its real name, so we're just gonna call it Kevin. This poem is so black, Scarlett Johansson was to play it in the biopic. This poem loves anime, specifically Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. This poem's favorite superhero film is Black Panther, and everyone mentions Get Out to this poem. This poem is so black, a police officer murdered it on video, and now it is trending on Twitter. This poem is so black, people are surprised it likes country music. This poem is so black it can play bass. This poem is good at sprinting. This poem is good at basketball. This poem is good at long distance running, and this poem can't swim. This poem is so black its dad left it, and this poem is angry. This poem is mad, this poem is a thug. This poem used to be in a gang, and this poem always carries a knife with it. This poem is so black it keeps being asked to be that one black poem in a set. This poem makes most of its money during Black History Month, and this poem is so black a police officer murdered it on video, and now it's just trending on Twitter, and now the people are protesting. This poem is so black it was killed before it could. This next poem is going to be from my first book, Blackish. This is probably the poem performed the most, and possibly the poem that means the most to me. To give you far too much context, my mum is really not well right now. She is, as is the doctors would call it, terminally ill. So, I'm going to do a poem about my mum. So, band, let's do something family-focused, if we can. This one's about me and my mum. She taught me sarcasm before I knew how to walk. Oh, God. It's been a long week. This one's about me and my mum. She taught me sarcasm before she taught me how to walk. Made sure I knew I was a Tottenham fan before I knew my times table. And she showed me Star Wars before she showed me how to dress. And my mother has a TARDIS heart. It may not look like much on the outside, but best believe it is bigger on the inside. And I have been lost, done all of its hallways for all of space and time, but still keep finding new doors to explore. And I am sorry, Falcor, but her love is more never-ending than your story. It's more unbreakable than your movie, M. Night, and it is serving more realness than any look I have seen served on the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race. And yes, that does include you, Simone and Bimini. You could be easily fooled into thinking that her heart has never been broken. And yes, I know it skipped a couple of beats in high school, but I think all those crushes did was soften it. I know it's got a lot of love for Idris and Denzel and a bit of Will and all of Adrian Lester, but I don't know if my father was the first one to let into it. Maybe he helped her fix it. Kept it in place up until the divorce, but after that, I expect there must have been a couple of cracks, but no stray shards been strewn across our living room floor. No stray splinters have fallen into our dinners. If there are any pieces missing, then my mother has kept them well hidden. I mean, between all of us here, I kind of think my mum's a magician. I mean, she kept me believing she was 27 up until I was 11. She kept appearing and reappearing all of my football matches and all of my poetry nights. No, scratch that. My mother is a superhero. She's currently carrying all of my fuck-ups on one hand while breaking down every barrier in front of her with the other hand. She doesn't need any spandex. But Kevin Feige is currently working on producing her own Marvel standalone film. No, scratch that. My mother is a wrestler and currently on the longest undefeated streak in WWE history, surpassing both Goldberg and Asuka, because I've seen her hurt, but I've never seen her beaten. No, scratch that. My mum would be all of your mums. No, scratch that. My mum would be all of your dads. No, scratch that. My mum said no, scratch that. My mum said no, scratch. My mum said no, scratch. My mum said record scratch. My mother has a TARDIS heart. It may not look like much on the outside, but best believe it is bigger than the love that she receives. And I am trying to make up for it. But I'm too busy being shit. I keep spending my nights swimming in Stella instead of coming home to her. I keep trying to buy smiles, ignoring the one that she gives me for free. And I keep fucking up my life, knowing that she'll always be able to clean up after me. And in this moment, I have never found Blue and Elton John more relatable, because there's a word I'm trying to say to her that's proving so hard right now. So instead, here's this poem. This one's about me and my mum.